Hey, Kirill.
Hey,
How's it going?
pretty good. Can you grant Taylor? I co-host.
Sure. That's what I'm doing right now. Um,
Great. Fast search goal.
Hello, hello. How's it going, guys?
Oh, hi, Taylor.
hey, Tail.
How are you guys today?
Oh,
Yeah, all's well.
great.
How about yourself?
Yeah, same. Nice, chill day.
Yeah, nice to meet you, by the way.
Uh,
Yeah. Nice to meet you guys.
Super
yeah,
excited
nice
to
meeting you.
discuss all things account abstraction.
Yep. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, but I,
Sure.
I tried to like mm, uh, say this tongue twister 4337 standard, which comes up all the time, and it's really a challenge.
Yeah. I feel like people who don't work in account abstraction, they said, and they always are tripping over their words or something. But I don't know. Say this like numbers every single day, so gotten used to it by now, I guess.
Yeah, like standard numbers, they inevitably come up in all the discussions. Like 4337 is like the most popular one, but also was it like 2938? Like granting,
Maybe I'm not sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Taylor, how's your health, by the way?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
Is
I'm
it?
good. It was just last week after Christmas, coming back, just feeling a little not so good. It happens after the holidays. Lots of drinking with family and friends, this sort of thing. But yeah, everything's normal now.
Yeah, everyone was ill.
Yeah.
It felt like. Yeah, but you gave us some time to get prepared better, so kudos to you.
Nice. You're welcome. You're welcome.
We've managed to visit your homepage, which is like, which is great, by the way.
Cool. Mine or
Yeah,
Etherspots,
yours,
both.
Taylor.rip.
Oh
Really
yeah.
impressive,
Nice.
impressive work
It's a good.
on this front.
It's a, it's a good domain name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
My favorite color combination, by the way, black and blue.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep things simple.
Do you really
Sure.
spend that much time playing Dota 2?
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
That's too much of my life, I think.
Oh, cool. Have you seen the latest international? Did you follow?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I pay attention to all of this.
oh, are you a Navi fanboy?
I mean, I used to be back in their heyday. I still kind
Yeah.
of follow them a bit.
Yeah, we have Dandy's on our speed dial. Dandy's number.
Oh, what? Yeah,
Yeah,
nice. Get him in the spaces.
yeah, we try to like onboard him with MetaMask, but yeah, account abstraction solutions were not there yet, so it, it was a
Oh
flop.
man, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a good friend of ours.
That's
he's
awesome. What
not
the
that
hell?
tech savvy. Yeah, except the gaming world.
Sure. That makes sense. He doesn't have to be.
Yeah. All right, guys. Should we start? Um, my name is Vadim. I'm from Gaidao, and we're starting our AMA with Taylor from Etherspot, and Kirill is going to help me with the more like technical questions today. But first, I want to start with maybe some backgrounds that Taylor, maybe you could give us about your past and your actually journey into Web3. Maybe you can tell us about your first interaction with crypto, as you recall it. what was that, and when was that?
Sure. So yeah, I guess I got in like kind of a little bit later than a lot of people. Like it was just like it was during COVID times, and I was like working as a software engineer. Not in crypto or not in Web3. And then it's just kind of at home, like saving money, stuff like this, because there wasn't anything to do, obviously. So then I was just kind of looking into like what I can, invest my money in, and then kind of, just bought a little ETH, and then sort of kind of fell down the rabbit hole once I, moved it from like some centralized exchange on chain, and then yeah, kind of was just hooked after doing some trades on Uniswap, buying some illiquid shit coins, something like this. And then, yeah, after that, I was just like, after a couple of years, like just kind of like degenning, and like DeFi and NFTs and this sort of thing, I was like, I should just move my like development career into this. So kind of just like quit my job, learned Solidity, moved into that direction, and then yeah, just because I like the kind of communicative aspect of this, of like kind of the tech world, developer relations just kind of made sense for me. So yeah, that's how I ended up here.
Cool. And back then, where were you working? What projects were you involved with?
It was just it was in the telecom space actually. So it wasn't. It was just like some like C++ like Linux systems development. To be honest, extremely boring. I kind of just worked there after I graduated from university because it was like I don't know, a job to work. But then I don't know, after realizing that it wasn't my interests, and Web3 is cool and everything like that, just knew I kind of had to make the move.
Cool. And so you studied programming professionally in a college. Is that your education?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
your
I studied computer games development actually at university. But that was just I just wanted to learn programming in some capacity, and that just seemed like the more fun course to take, to be honest. And I was right. So that worked out pretty well.
Nice. And on your website, it said that you worked for a bunch of Web3 projects, and I'm not sure if Enea OpenWave is the one. Why don't you tell us about this project and your role in it, just real quick?
Yeah, so
that was this telecom project that you mentioned, right?
Yeah, that was
the boring one.
Yeah, Enea OpenWave was the telecoms one. Yeah, and then just kind of like when I was upskilling, to kind of get into the Web3 space, I did like a bit of content creation for Meta Intro. They're like a Web3 wallet resume company, pretty much like tying like professional kind of certificates to like a decentralized wallet, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, then there was this other company called New Club. I was writing some smart contracts for them at the time, just some like basic NFT stuff. But yeah, and we're still actually working with them in Etherspot because they want to incorporate account abstraction, which is pretty interesting.
Kirill?
I think there's something up with your mic, my friend.
Yep. Maybe. All right. So you found yourself in the Web3 space, and you really got excited by the future of Web3. What actually it attracted you the most in the blockchain technology? Why were you so fascinated by the field that you decided to join it?
I mean, initially it was like to be perfectly honest, it was like the degenerate side of it, like the kind of like gambly DeFi sort of thing. The fact that you could just kind of like DeFi is just still like super interesting to me. It still kind of feels a bit illegal in some ways. That like I don't know, I just really like that kind of like degenerate aspect of it. And then once I learned more about like the actual tech behind it all, I got a bit more like kind of decentralization pilled, and kind of just, I don't know. I think that kind of resonated with me a bit. It's kind of like maybe the way the world should be. Just sort of decentralize everything. Just kind of partly a big part of what crypto and Web3 is about. So
yeah, sounds great. Do you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we lost it,
awesome.
but I added you as a speaker as well.
When Taylor told that he got bored working at a telecom company, I tried to say that tell this to Anatoly Yakovenko, from the Solana founder, who also worked at Qualcomm and like for 20-something years.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's funny.
Oh, really? That's like where the ideas from this like parallel operations came from like cellular network and stuff. Yeah, Taylor, would you like to jump in to the account abstraction stuff, or to some Etherspot offerings, and to tell us more about it? I offer starting from like high level overview, maybe, of this account abstraction standard and like different roles involved in it. Maybe I unpack some of those briefly. What do you think?
Yeah, and you are a DevRel at Etherspot. Maybe you can also tell us more about what it's like to be a DevRel in the project such Etherspot.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk a little bit about the Etherspot and being a DevRel here, and then I'll give a very brief overview about account abstraction, because we'll probably go into more detail later on. But yeah, Etherspots. We're a company that's offering like top to bottom account abstraction services in terms of like tooling, infrastructure, anything you need as a dApp developer or a network to get set up with account abstraction. But yeah, it's really nice working here. I've worked here for like 10 months now, I think. And yeah, it's been really good. The team is all like super nice. It's a small team. I really like working with them. Some really, really smart people who are quite engaged within the account abstraction space. But yeah, it's been a really good experience for me so far.
How big is the team right now?
Well, we're kind of like two companies, because we also have Pillar Wallet, which runs on Etherspot. I think in total it's like 20 to 30, maybe not even that many. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I've actually encountered some Pillar Wallet content during research on Etherspot. Can you tell us more about how it all started and how you got to the need to solve smart contract wallets in first place while developing Pillar as a product? Do you know how this story unfolded?
Yeah, so Pillar was kind of started before my time. Well, so did Etherspot, I guess. But yeah, it was essentially back in like the 2017 ICO days. Pillar were one of the first ones using smart contract wallets within like a mobile wallet. And then Etherspot kind of came out of that because we had like a really solid like infrastructure in the back end for smart contract wallets. So Etherspot was born out of that to monetize this in the form of like an SDK and other bits of tooling that developers could use to pretty much implement that smart contract wallet infrastructure in their own dApps.
And by the way, congrats on the EF grant. I think it was in September, right, that you received.
Oh yeah.
The Ethereum Foundation grant.
Yeah, that was our CTO Partha's doing mostly. He's he's very involved in the 4337, the account abstraction space. He knows a lot about that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty well deserved, I think.
Yeah, congrats. By the way, do you like manage all the content that you guys produce on YouTube? I just wanted to thank you for like bringing us to the trenches of the 4337 core team discussions and their like weekly calls? Is it like your idea to like upload such content on your channel?
Not me. This has been done before I was even at the company. This is I think it's our head of marketing does all those uploads. But I think it's just Partha, the guy I was talking about before. He records the calls, and then yeah. But to be honest, in terms of like the socials and the YouTube, unless it's like specifically my name on it, our head of marketing will manage and produce all of that.
Okay, so circling back to the Vadim's question about like the role within the Etherspot, what do you mainly focus on, like documentation, like technical content, relations with developers, presentations, kind of stuff, like grabs most of your day?
To be honest, it's mostly documentation because 4337 is obviously pretty new. Last year we had to create there's been a lot of work at Etherspot to create new products around this in terms of a new SDK, the infrastructure with our paymaster and with our bundler. And we're still actively building and adding more features to all of this. So to be honest, the majority of my work is documentation. And outside of that, it's solution engineering, just answering people in like Discord or Slack or Telegram, just essentially projects that want to build with Etherspot and build with a kind of abstraction. I need to be there to, answer their queries or kind of give them a bit of a helping hand. And then, yeah, also, creating some video content or going to conferences, just to kind of get the name out a bit, talk to people about, if they want to incorporate a kind of abstraction or use Etherspot and, their own product, this sort of thing.
You've touched upon the projects. Why won't you tell us more about what kind of like builders, developers, and projects use your solutions, and maybe even going deeper, tell us what types of like signers they prefer to use, and what types of signers Etherspot currently supports and plan to support in future, if this is a relevant question.
So in terms of the projects that we support, probably the biggest one that we show off to people as it shows a really nice user experience was a betting platform. So they essentially used us so you could have social logins, so because they wanted to appeal to kind of like the the normie crowd, the Web2 crowd. So with us they were able to implement social logins, so you can log in via your Twitter or your Gmail or something like this. You don't need to have a a meta, and also remove the need for having a gas token on this account, so like they can operate everything through USDT, place their bets on that, and also batch a number of transactions together, so they place some accumulation bets on like three different things, and then yeah. So it's just, to be honest, with things like that, it's just like the small features kind of like added together to make like this really nice user experience. So that's probably the best example of what we have using it. In terms of the signers, to be honest, I don't know too much about that. But I know we offer in our SDK the ability to, they don't have to use our signers or our wallet. You can just our SDK is fully open source, so you can just if you have your own wallet factory or your own smart contract wallets, you can just use our SDK. Everything else, our infrastructure, and then place in your wallet with a different signing mechanism if that's something that is of interest to the developer.
So is it like compatible with Wallet Connect out of the box, or you have to like customize some part of logic?
Hello, am I still here?
Yeah, the question was, is it like compatible with the Wallet Connect out of the box? You guys hear me?
I do.
Okay. Maybe that's something on Taylor's side. Taylor?
All right.
Do you hear us?
I don't hear you guys right now. Can you? I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or what.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm gonna try and leave and join the space again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Taylor? Check.
Sorry, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened there. I couldn't hear you guys for some reason, but you could hear me. I don't know.
Yeah, we heard you. Yeah, all right. So what's the difference between different 4337 smart account implementations? Because there are really a lot of them, except not just the Etherspots one. What are like your features like that users choose you for?
Well, for us, it's not really based off the actual wallet implementation itself. I think people will go to us because for one, we're fully open source. So we are very open about, if the developers want to take our software, take our wallet, create their own implementation of it, use anything, they're free to do that, create their whatever they want with it. At the same time, we're veterans in the industry. Like I said about Pillar Wallet being around from the 27 ICO days. It means we're already very familiar with the kind of abstraction space, and albeit not 4337 because that wasn't the standard back then. We kind of faced a lot of these problems before, and we have a very deep, long understanding of what's going on in the kind of abstraction world. As well as that, because we have Partha, our CTO, because he's always deeply involved in these 4337 technical calls, and like you said, he received the grant from the Ethereum Foundation. I think there can be a lot of trust there that the product that we're building is like top tier.
Great. By the way, is he on the 4337 core team right now? Your CTO that you mentioned.
To be honest, I don't. I know he's always in those calls. I don't really know the capacity that he actually works in terms of the development side of things.
I mean, is he among one of the authors on the spec?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure if he's one of the authors. But he's definitely involved in the active development of it. So
yeah, okay. For me, ecosystem can be divided into parts. One part is like signers, like Privy or Magic, that handle key creation, authorization part, and the signing part. And then there's projects like Etherspot that provide smart account functionalities, like with bundling and all 4337 shenanigans. So can your product and the services you offer be used as the whole standalone thing without external signers from Privy or Magic that are the most popular right now, I guess? Maybe Capsule as well with their MPC solutions.
So I guess to interact with or use the SDK, right?
Yeah.
For us, you need a key-based wallet, on top of that, just to kind of act as the owner of the smart contract wallet that is produced. So we would make use of like some of the services like you said, like Privy. We're currently using that at the minute. Also Web3 Auth, which is a very similar
Yeah.
a very similar service. So we do incorporate that into our development in terms of like for using like social logins and this sort of thing. So we would work together with them on that, create guides and this sort of thing. Because in terms of there's just like a lot of development work that they've already done and the tools are there. So we might as well use them just to kind of, make our lives easier.
Okay, so you're not planning to like develop your own UI solutions like to cater for the needs of signing, key management, and such. You rely on some
Not
other
currently,
providers. Okay.
but and it's just because of the fact that we've used Privy, we've used Web3 Auth. We're pretty happy with how these solutions run with our SDK. I don't see a problem with that. So it's not maybe in the future, but right now it's certainly not a priority for us.
Yeah. Don't you think like you and signer providers converge in some way, and maybe Privy and Magic ultimately will end up doing their own smart account implementations? Aren't you afraid of something like this to play out?
Yeah, it definitely is possible, but like behind the kind of wallet implementation and the signer implementation, there's still a lot more to kind of abstraction and to 4337 in terms of like the infrastructure and things like this. So even if they have all that in place, it's like so much work for them to get set up with the rest of it that we're not terribly, I don't know, I don't think it's something we would be worried about, just because there's like other ways to kind of monetize the 4337 space.
It'll probably take them a couple of years to just get to the point where you are right now, even studying all your open source code, right?
Yeah. Also, it does take it takes like a lot of time to get all of this stuff up and running. So, yeah, it's not something that will worry us. And I'm not even sure if they would be interested in that. Just because, like you said, the amount of time that it would take, probably wouldn't even be worth it for them, because by the time they get set up, there's already companies like us and the other kind of abstraction providers that will be so far ahead that they might not even have like a market.
Yeah, but okay, we've got lots of devs in our community, so the next question is, how as a dev would you approach building an app, your own app? How would you decide which smart account provider to go with? Like, and why would you choose Etherspot or maybe some other provider like, I don't know, Zero Dev comes to mind? Yeah, I guess they have the biggest market share right now.
Personally, I would take a look at pretty much the documentation of each of the providers, and this is just a personal thing, by the way, and whatever one is kind of like easiest to get it set up with would probably be the one I'm more interested in choosing. Etherspot specifically because of kind of the points I made before about being completely open source, working with the community, having people in the 4337 space on our team, and being veterans in the account abstraction space. Just because we have the trust there, that would be, in my opinion, enough to go with Etherspot over these others.
So you like
and also because
maximizing simplicity out of the box?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I mean, you maximize simplicity and like the time to market in your case, right? So it's like
that's something I actually think is quite important for technical documentation, especially if someone is coming into kind of working with the kind of abstraction and they don't really and they're kind of new to it. You need to be able to get them in and building with it pretty much as fast as possible. We have on our like quick start guide. All I want is a developer to be able to come in, understand what is a smart contract wallet, see it get created in their browser and be able to run a transaction with it. If we can get to that case, or that scenario, then after that, it's pretty much open to the developer what they want to do with that in terms of, I don't know, like batching transactions, sponsored transactions, whatever kind of path they want to take. So yeah, in my opinion, if it's like exactly like you said, maximize simplicity, just get them set up with the tools ready to go, and then they can just take it from there.
And what is kind of the current developer sentiment around simplicity? Do you feel that developers are pleased with what you offer right now? And maybe what products do they express like most excitement about? Because you've got like four products.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Prime SDK itself is probably what people like to use the most, because it does make everything very simple in terms of creating a wallet and batching transactions together. It's honestly as simple as it comes, and we've gotten good feedback about that. Also working with Arca as well, which is our paymaster, including some API calls to just get a transaction sponsored. This is especially if you want to test this on testnet, we have like specific environments for that. It's super easy to have your transaction paid for, which is obviously a big part of account abstraction. So we've gotten good feedback about that as well. Yeah, those are the main two. And I guess also Transaction Kit as well, which is another one of our products, which is a React library pretty much built on top of the SDK. This is to kind of simplify everything even further in terms of Web3 developments and working with account abstraction, because of how because of how simple it is to use, especially for newer devs. We've gotten good feedback about that. Just because, essentially just because it's super easy to use. Like batching transactions, you can just do in some React tags. It's just very simple.
Did you say near developers?
No, sorry, I did not.
Sorry, yeah, okay, and yeah.
Oh, sorry, I said newer developers.
Okay. Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, which chains? Etherspot is primarily popular on right now. Like, is it Polygon or Arbitrum? Which network is like the most popular?
So, in terms of account abstraction itself, I think Polygon is like leading the way in terms of like user ops and transactions. For Etherspot, ourselves, we are set up in Polygon. We're set up on pretty much all the big chains: Optimism, Arbitrum, Fuse, Mantle, Gnosis, Base. We're seeing most of our traffic right now, though, being on Fuse.
Oh wow!
At the minute, actually, we're trying to kind of target these smaller chains who are interested in account abstraction, but didn't have like the infrastructure, didn't have as much set up before. So we're seeing the majority of our user ops generated from Fuse, and we don't, to be honest, we don't have as big a market share of the others, because I think some of the bigger companies are more prevalent on things like Polygon.
Mm-hmm. And let's consider this scenario where like the same app is being deployed to different networks, and each app on each network uses the same like stack, using either Etherspot, account abstraction, SDK. Would a user who created a smart contract wallet on one chain be looking at the same like activities and tokens when switching to another network within the same app, which is like cross-chain, quote unquote?
Well, yeah. So we would produce the same address like for the same smart contract wallet address based on all of these chains. So yeah, a dApp could potentially show all of the assets on all of the chains that they have assets on, which is good. We also, so in terms of actually interacting with these cross chain, we do also have some bridging functions within our SDK, because of this kind of liquidity silo problem in Web3. We deemed it as pretty important to have this sort of thing. So if you combine the the bridging functions that we have in our SDK along with batching transactions, you can get these really smooth sort of one-click bridging transactions. Because before you have to do something where you have to like swap to a certain token sometimes and then bridge over and then claim on the other side sometimes, whereas using Etherspot's SDK and a kind of abstraction, this can just be simplified. We just simplify completely, and we done this with some protocols like with like HoneySwap and KlimaDAO, where you're actually able to stake on Klima from any EVM-based network that we support. So that's kind of a real actual use case of sort of what you were mentioning there about the cross-chain stuff.
Yeah, and thanks for this summary. Yeah, and what about a situation when user creates an account, or account is being created for the user somewhere under the hood, and this app that the user used to create this account with goes offline or goes out of business? How can this user reclaim the ownership of such account? Is it even possible? Do you have maybe some canonical interface on your side, as an SDK supplier to like access generic interface, generic wallet interface? Or should we consider such account lost forever and unrecoverable until app goes online again?
Yeah, so I guess this just kind of is a problem with embedded wallets, which kind of have like you log into some dApp and then you have that wallet specifically for that dApp. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure of a way around it right now. I think we did have some talks before about creating some dashboards, where you can maybe get your funds back from this sort of thing. But yeah, right now that I think that is an issue just in the overall kind of abstraction space, and it is more just with like I said about these embedded wallets, just simply the one use smart contract wallet on one platform. I think we kind of need to address that in a way where you can export these wallets, add ownership to a different wallet, so you can kind of manage these better. Because right now these wallets, you log into some dApp or something like this with an embedded wallet, and it is just kind of like a one use wallet, like I said there, and it's quite it's siloed. There isn't exactly a good way around it right now, I believe. But yeah, that's like a pretty common topic of conversation.
Yeah, pretty common composability concern with these
for sure
smart wallets. And like if you were ahead of like just ordinary user, maybe prosumer user, what type of scenario is more convenient for you? Like using one account, like one smart account for all your actions and all your chains, or have different wallets like per app basis, like one app, one wallet? What would be more convenient, and where do you think the industry is now headed towards?
I mean, I think they both can be good in different scenarios. I think I think having one app per one wallet it's a bit annoying for the user, because they need to every time they sign into a new app or something like this, they need to deposit funds into this new wallet, whereas using like currently with the Keybase wallets, just signing into multiple dApps with the same funds in the same wallet makes things like super easy to use multiple dApps. In terms of where we're going, it's hard to say. I think I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure how to get around this composability issue that we were talking about. But I think the idea of what I said before about being able to export these wallets to like a main wallet storage somewhere probably makes the most sense. But I guess that doesn't really solve the kind of like your liquidity being siloed into multiple dApps, multiple wallets. So there's probably something more that needs done there as well to kind of combine these all together. But I have no idea how that will be done.
Kind of fragmentation problem and state plot also stemming from the just the sheer number of accounts being created on a daily basis by regular users. I guess if you log into the same app on the same chain but with a different device, you get a newly created account, and then you can just like swap signers or add signers and maybe do something that the app developers have in store for you. Like they might not pay too much attention to the like wallet management features of their app. They have some more important problems on their to-do list.
Yeah.
And I guess the multi-chain issue is even more like aggravated in terms of like smart account composability and maybe compatibility, even because there is no way right now to like change permissions on all your account on all your smart wallets existing on different chains, even if they are they have the same address and all these chains are fully EVM equivalent and compatible. It's kind of a it's kind of a hurdle, yeah, on this front, because state changes, it's hard to make them propagate through like cross chains and even signatures due to like replay protection. They cannot be like accepted automatically on all the chains. If you like pursue this scenario where you like sign once and then like propagate some permission setup change across the networks. What's your take on like this cross-chain compatibility, and should we expect some kind of registry or some blockchain being used as a canonical like list of addresses and their like setups to synchronize for other networks to synchronize with, or is there any other solutions to this?
To be honest, I'm not too sure about this part. I think in terms of the interoperability and bridging side of things, in terms of like the account abstraction, we don't really think too much about it. It makes sense what you're saying about changing the signers and things like this, but it's not something we have given too much thought. We'll kind of just use whatever is there, whatever's best in terms of these scenarios. In terms of like, I don't know, like a separate chain for this sort of thing, I mean, it could make sense, but to be honest, I don't know enough about that topic to kind of give more context.
Yeah, I mean, just like thinking from the first principles, if we use account abstraction as a primer for like onboarding more users and drastically simplifying user experience, then there should also be an easier way to like do this cross-chain stuff, like to have just one signature for all the accounts, or like have money just on one account to pay the fees on all the networks. Because if not, then you again stuck with the need to have some stable coins at least on each of those accounts on different networks, right?
Yeah, I feel like I remember something about that someone in this space is working on this in terms of like the the cross-chain part of it. But yeah, it's definitely like I 100% agree. It's something that we need because the cross-chain and interoperability between chains right now still is one of the biggest friction points for in terms of user experience. So yeah, it's definitely a necessity, that we need to sort of address and fix along with the kind of abstraction before really the user experience can actually be like at a really high level and be taken seriously by people who aren't really sort of Web3 savvy,
I wouldn't be able to survive in this like account abstraction environment day to day because my head kind of blows from the depth and like the richness of possibilities and like the design space itself. It's kind of diving into the rabbit hole, I guess, for the developers
Yeah.
of such solutions. Yeah. What do you think about?
Yeah. By the way, I just wanted to remind everyone who's listening that you can also ask questions by requesting to become a speaker. And yeah, feel free to ask anything our today's guest about account abstraction and related topics.
Yeah, Taylor.
Yeah, go ahead, Kirill.
How much time do you have on your hands for our space?
Yeah, I mean, I have some other calls after the 10-minute mark, but like from 10 minutes from now. But yeah, I got time now. So.
Yeah, so you've got time to discuss ERC 6900, right? Like about the modular smart contract wallets and plugins. What do you know about it? And do you guys strive to like be compliant with this still in works standard? Do you guys participate somehow maybe in bringing this standard to life with the Alchemy team? I know that they're like the main power behind this standard being approved.
To be honest, at the minute it's something we're kind of just like staying aware of. We're not making any development plans or anything to change anything to be compliant with it. And we're not actively involved in the kind of development side of it either. So
what's kind of like the temperature inside the team when you like discuss this ERC 6900? Are devs pleased with what's going on in the space right now on this front?
I mean, to be honest, yeah. I mean, we don't see it as like a big threat or whatever. It's to be honest, the people in the kind of abstraction space, we all kind of share the same goal, right? In terms of like having the user experience on EVM-based networks being something that is actually great and usable. So albeit we're not really, like I said, interacting too much with 6900, just like it keeping like tabs on what's going on with it, but we're not in any means like against any kind of advancements like this. Like if it's going to help account abstraction as a whole, then yeah, we're happy about it.
Do you have any opinionated guys on your team? What do they think about like the 4337 standard being enshrined in Ethereum, or maybe 3074 being enshrined and working together with 4337. Do you know anything about that? Maybe you have some personal takes.
In terms, I mean, this isn't something like I've really talked about to many people on the team. What was this? What was the second proposal you were talking about?
Like 3074, I guess.
Which one is that? Sorry.
It's about adding to opcodes and effectively granting privileges to smart contracts to act on behalf of the EOAs. So it's like LARPing as an EOA, and that's like expressing some AA features. Yeah.
In my opinion, I think these sort of things are moving in the right direction. Just for the simple fact of with the EOA wallets, we're still very limited in what can kind of be done with these compared to what can be done with the smart contract account. Whereas the the EOAs are still very trusted, obviously, in how they work right now, a much more than smart contract accounts. If we get to the point where we're fully trusting these smart contract accounts and how they work, I think it's just an obvious step forward that we would kind of all end up using them in terms of just because of the flexibility they offer. As now we can program our wallets in a Turing complete language, and we can add more security, things like social recovery. Once we get to the point where everything is trusted, I think it's a step in the right direction, just because it opens us. It just opens us up to a lot more of what we can do with our accounts. So I agree with moving forward with both of those, enshrinement and the other protocol.
Yeah, talking about enshrinement, the current canonical set of smart contracts is deployed by Ethereum Foundation, right? By the Ethereum core team. Even can you walk us through the low level how this all AA system works, including starting from the user operation and then the bundler role and this entry point contract and its communication with paymaster. What are the minimum requirements for account abstraction flow to exist? What participants are needed?
Sure. So there's the core components of 4337 are one, we have the smart contract wallets, which is compliant with the 4337 standards. So this will send what is called a user op to. So this is essentially a transaction. It will send this to an alternative mempool, where a bunch of user ops will be grouped up. These user ops or transactions are then grouped together and sent to the bundler. The bundler, as in its name, will bundle these up. So it's like a large number of transactions put together into one. This will be then sent to the entry point contract, which this is just a singleton contract. It's the same address across all the EVM-based networks. It verifies these. It calls two functions. First of all, it verifies that the user ops will that the signature is correct, and then we'll also make sure that the execution will run correctly. After that, there's an optional bit here. This is to do with the paymaster, which is another bit of infrastructure. If these user ops are gonna get paid for by someone else, having the transaction sponsored, there'll be an extra check here which validates validates this user op, and then finally the user op is executed. So that's just the same as like a normal transaction at the end, except instead of the wallet executing the transaction, which executes on behalf of the wallet.
Thanks for this overview. Yeah. I just wanted to ask, what parts?
Kirill, sorry to interrupt you. Our colleague Daria our colleague Daria is signaling me that we need to wrap up in a few minutes because of your calls, and as you mentioned, that a few calls scheduled right after this AMA, and you have to leave soon. So maybe we can start wrapping up. What do you think? And ask you some non-technical questions for the beginners who might join us as well today.
Let's go.
Cool. Yeah. So just maybe you can give us the advice or on how can you give. The advice that you can give to devs or the beginners looking to start their journey in the Web3. What would be your recommendations? Yeah, I needed to add Taylor as a speaker as well. Again. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Taylor.
Yeah. I heard you. I heard you. Everything.
Hear my question?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I was my connection dropped for a second again. My bad.
Sure.
So in terms of getting into Web3 developments, I guess if you're looking into the Ethereum side of things and that's what interests you, I'd say first just kind of learn what is going on with the stack under the hood. Just learn how transactions send, how everything is pieced together at a lower level, I'd say. And then after that, learn Solidity. And then learn it to, I'd say, like a pretty good degree, so you can kind of understand what is actually happening, when transactions are signed and people interact with smart contracts. Because essentially in Ethereum, with these state changes, that's all that is happening. So if you can kind of get a really good understanding of what is going on with that stuff at a lower level, then it'll mean anytime you're working on higher level stuff with any dApps or websites that interact with Ethereum or EVM-based networks, you'll hopefully have a very good understanding of what is happening.
And I'd add just like check Taylor's videos on Etherspot YouTube channel. Yeah, he's got a couple of great tutorials. So especially if you're already a web developer and you know React, as Taylor says, you don't even need to have experience in Web3 development. You might just know React and to get started with the SDK that Etherspot offers. So it might be your entry point, so to speak.
Yeah,
nice. That's good. I'm gonna steal that.
And
unintended.
What about? Yeah, Taylor. What about conferences? Do you often attend them? And if so, what conferences are you planning to attend this year?
So I'm not. I went to like 4 or 5 last year, I think. Just Ethereum-based ones primarily. But yeah, this year I think I'm going to ETH in Amsterdam in April. I'm not entirely sure on that. Probably be at ETHCC as well, just because that's, I don't know, everyone in the world is at ETHCC. But apart from that, to be honest, I'm not sure yet. I need to talk to my team and see where it makes sense that I'll be going to. Maybe I'll go to some like not to do with work as well, just to go, vibe out perhaps. But yeah, not sure yet. We'll see.
Yeah, what's the point of going to ETH to see, since they're not in Paris anymore, right?
Oh yeah, it's in Brussels or something, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
I'm sure it'll still be good.
Yeah, one more question, Taylor. On your bio on Twitter, you have, apart from Etherspot, another project and the website called moi.sh. I think it's your personal kind of project. Could you tell us about it a little bit more? I just went to this website and it just said what this moi term means in terms of history and the tech as well. So maybe you could tell us more. What is that?
Yeah, it's actually it's kind of funny right now. It's like a project right now that is looking for something to build. Like it's just me and the DevOps guy at Etherspot. We're like pretty good friends, and like we're always just like memeing around in Slack, And then we just like really we just like started posting this emoji everywhere and like setting it as our pictures and just dumb shit like this. And then I don't know, we just kind of just like taking it like to be our vibe, me and him, sort of thing. So we don't know what we're actually gonna do with the project yet. It's just like it will be something at some point, but it's nothing really at the minute. It's just kind of like for fun with me and my friend, So.
Cool. And what about the term itself? Is it real, or you came up with it? More I or more AI. I don't know how to spell it.
Moai.
Right.
Yeah, it's just the name of those. Them big, like the guy in my emoji in my name on Twitter here. It's like those big like Easter Island statue heads. I don't know. Those guys look pretty cool. So yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, thanks a lot for this AMA and for your answers. Very well thought answers.
Yeah, we'll have to have Taylor back sometime, I guess, when maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll have some future releases.
Yeah, it was
done. Yeah,
it was really fun. I really enjoyed talking to you guys.
Yeah, if people want to check out Etherspot or keep up with you personally, where is the best like places for them to go? Like Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, Twitter's the best. Like mine Taylor _web3 or just like at Etherspot. Another really good place to if you're interested in account abstraction or wanting to know more about it. We have a weekly newsletter that our head of marketing creates. It's really good because it's
shout out to Alexandra.
Yeah, Alexandra.
Newsletter. Yeah,
her newsletter is really good. So that's like the best way to kind of stay up to date with whatever's going on in like the account abstraction world.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys. It was super nice talking to you.
Yeah, wonderful conversation.
Cheers.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'd love to have you back.
For sure.
Sure. All right.
All right, cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.